everybody a bit of context, Nick, in April, you spoke to us about chatbots and chatbot copywriting. And we just got such amazing feedback and so many questions, which we weren't able to answer then. So we, by popular demand, thought we could bring you back and have people ask any questions. So as they come in, I'm going to feed them to you if that works for you.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, beautiful.
Yep.
So let's give this a bit of context. Okay, so chatbots can be a very broad term. When you're talking about chatbots, what are you talking about?
All right, so there's this kind of range. At one end, there are the AI, artificial intelligence chatbots like Siri on your Apple phone or Google Assistant or Alexa. All right, so these are chatbots. They're automated systems, but they run on artificial intelligence. They recognize language and they try to respond appropriately. That's not what I'm talking about or what I teach. It's because at the other end of the spectrum, we have rules-based chatbots, with the chatbots that you can encounter from companies, where it says, "Hey Nick, what can I help you with today? Are you looking to buy this, or do you want to find out about this?" And it's usually on this device, and I just tap on my choice, and it says, "Cool," and it takes me, and maybe it's helping me set an appointment. Maybe I want a pizza delivery. Maybe I want to book a flight. Maybe it's a loyalty program chatbot. There are dozens of different things chatbots can do, but these are rules-based chatbots, and most of them are on the Facebook platform, Facebook Messenger platform. Most of these interactive rules-based chatbot experiences. So basically, it's an automated software-based version of a conversation between a company or organization and an interested person, like a customer or prospect.
So when you say rules-based, can you break that down in layman's terms? I have no idea what you mean by the rules.
The rules, it's all about the rules. All right, so
I don't like this.
All right,
carry on.
So if I let's say I was a freelance copywriter and I had a chatbot, and a prospective client opened up my chatbot and said, "Oh, look, cool." And I said, "Hey, my name is Nick. I'm a copywriter. I love it if I could help you. Tell me something." And I might offer three questions, like, do you need like urgent, immediate help, or something soon, or there's no absolute deadline? So I can now filter, like, is this an urgent inquiry or just a general inquiry? So the guy clicks on urgent. Now the rule kicks in. If user clicks urgent, send them to this path.
Gotcha.
Because if it says urgent, the interaction is now going to say, "Okay, well, we better get cracking, right? So next question." But if it's like general inquiry, it's like, "Okay, so let's see, maybe there's some ways we can help." And so depending on which button you click, I take you down a different pathway, which is what makes the interaction so interesting and engaging, because the user is choosing the way forward. All right. Or I say, "Hey, are you B2C? Are you B2B business? Are you education or government?" And you can say, "Hey, I'm B2B." So I can then reply and say, "Hey, B2B, that's one of my core strengths. So cool. What are you thinking of? White papers, case studies, email marketing, email marketing." All right. So each time the user clicks on a button, the rule says, if user does X, do Y. So Y becomes the pathway all about doing the emails. So that's what rules-based is. So it's not like an artificial intelligence. It's not a computer listening, trying to understand. It's because the person clicked that button, the rule says. Meanwhile, the bot remembers everything. So that interaction, it remembers that the person clicked this, this, and this. In fact, it'll even remember the time it took them between clicking this and this. It can get super complex and fun. But on the face of it, in terms of a user interaction, it's very, very compelling, because you're actually being asked, "Hey, what can we do for you?" And it's like the write your own adventure approach, right?
Yeah.
It's like, here is the direction I want to take the conversation in, which is amazing for consumers, because they're used, in fact, to companies usually saying, "Here's what we want you to listen to. Here is our message. Listen to our message. Buy our stuff now." That's the traditional route. The chatbot route is, "Hey, how can I help? Like, which of these three options best apply to you?" So totally different experience for the user, and much more compelling and engaging.
Yeah, I was going to say, even though it's chatbot, you don't normally think of chatbot as personable, but this seems so much more personable than getting an email in my inbox that I've not chosen that I
Right,
want that
right.
particular
Right. So
thing,
that's the kind of weirdness of it, is that it's rules based, it's automated, but it's just basically it's texting. All right. It's a texting format. Like when you text with a friend, you just do this short little message and then you pause, right, while your friend replies. We do the same. We actually write a pause. We tell the bot, pause 3 seconds in between interact. So it feels like texting. It feels like you're interacting one on one.
wow.
So even though it's rules based, it actually comes over as a very kind of individual one-on-one communication because you're the boss of it. There's pauses. There's, hey, I can throw up images. I can use emojis. I can throw up little short videos. I can do all
Wow.
kinds of stuff. It's whatever you can do in Facebook Messenger, you can do with your chatbot. With your chatbot.
So you mentioned AI, and I think that a lot of people, when they think of chatbots, that's what they assume, right? That it's either a human like that is chatting with you, or it's AI. So where is the opportunity then for writers when it comes to chatbots? Like how do writers and copywriters, particularly fit in?
Because part of the trick of making this experience so good is the script. You got to write the script. And in fact, you're actually writing several versions of the script. So there's the script that says, I have an urgent need, I have a fairly urgent need, I just have a general inquiry. They're all going to be different scripts for each pathway. So you're writing these scripts for the bot, and the way in which you write them is like the way you write an email or the way you write a landing page. The words are incredibly important. So what in this business, this industry, what we talk about this fundamentally is conversation design. How do you design a conversation? So I'm a complete conversation nerd. Like I've got a zillion books up here on conversation and conversation design. And this is the like people at Amazon, the Alexa people, the Siri people, the Google Assistant people, they're all nerding out on how do you design an effective conversation, whether it's AI or rules based.
Yeah.
But what's happening in the industry in terms of opportunity is that these conversations and these scripts are being written by developers, by bot
Oh,
builders, by the nerdy folks who are wonderful, but writing and copywriting is not their core strength. It's not their
yeah.
superpower. It's a bit like the web back in the late 90s. All right. All the websites were being written by webmasters. And I waded in and said, excuse me, you might actually want a real writer, like a professional writer to do this. Because at the time it wasn't recognized. And I
Yeah.
speak now to companies that are developing chatbots, and I say, hey, you know what would be really cool? Not just to have a professional writer, but a professional copywriter
Yeah.
who is trained in engaging, in persuading, in attracting attention, in closing sales, things like that. Imagine the power of adding a copywriter into the chatbot mix, and these guys are like it's like boom, we hadn't even thought of that. So there's this amazing opportunity right now for
Yeah.
copywriters because the industry is huge. There are millions of companies that already have these chatbots. Nearly all of them have been written by the scripts have been written by bot builders, by the
Wow.
developer group. And they can do, they're already, the conversion rates on chatbots are insanely high. It's an incredibly effective tool. But it could be way more effective if trained copywriters stepped in and said, hey, we're going to be the ones writing the scripts.
Because I would understand it then that so a copywriter's job is oftentimes to persuade and move forward, right? And
Right.
that seems just like what is needed in this. Yes, they might have chosen the path, but you have an end goal of a place you want to get them. And the more
Yeah,
persuasive and conversational your script is, surely the more successful you are then to get
absolutely.
them to
Absolutely. But
that end goal.
the funny thing is when you read a good script, it never feels like sales.
Mm,
It always feels like just a conversation. So that is when I go back to conversation design. It's where conversation design is one thing, but conversation design plus copywriting is a true superpower.
hey,
So what it is, but you cannot bring the kind of old school approach to hard charging persuasion. That doesn't work. That doesn't work in texting. You're
yeah,
using very very small pieces. You're doing like 10 words at a time, right? In texting, the format is
yeah,
exactly the same with the chatbot. So you kind of put away. You understand the principles. Like for instance, simple stuff like now, like free, like you. Some of these copywriting 101 things apply absolutely to chatbot copywriting. But the current people writing these things, they don't know these things. They don't know copywriting 101.
So we have a few questions that have come in. Krista is asking if this will work for B2B and B2C. Do both sides need chatbots?
Absolutely. 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 And in fact, if you think about B2B, B2B is always about starting a conversation. B2B, you don't have, on most B2B businesses, there's not a buy button on the website. There's a call this number, download this free. So on B2B, let's say you're a business, let's say you sell helicopter parts and you want to engage prospective customers, but actually you deal with three very different segments like military, commercial, and personal use helicopters. So, and you have all these different downloads, you can have this conversation where you're now segmenting, saying, hey, that's great. What is your area of industry? Oh, I'm military. Oh, okay. In that case, blah, 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 blah. And hey, we have something for you. And you download a report, not the generic report that most companies do, but because we can segment with the chatbot, now I can send that person a report that is very specific to their specific inquiry.
Yeah.
So absolutely, B2B, B2C, doesn't matter.
Because again, it's bot to human, right?
Yeah, and it's like it could be any industry. It can be a vast company like Google, or it can be your local coffee shop.
Yeah.
Every business can use use a chatbot.
So William has a really good question. Does that, when you create these bots for clients, is it like one and done, or is there opportunity for repeat assignments or work?
I guess it's a bit like if you get an email assignment for a client, is it one and done? It can be. I mean, it depends on the needs of the client and the relationship you build and how good you are at kind of upselling or cross-selling or expanding the scope. But I'll tell you one. So a chatbot, you can have, I've worked with clients where we've built a number of chatbots that are for different divisions within a company. So we'd have like 3 different chatbots, and they're all connected with the same database. So that expands and expands. There's also kind of different promotions and campaigns you can run through chatbots. You can also, there's a lot of sort of omni-channel activity with the chatbot, is that I will collect an email address during my conversation. Actually, I don't need to collect it. I draw it from your Facebook account, because this is Facebook Messenger. And I say, hey, Jade, is this your email address? And you're going to say yes. And I say, okay, would you like me to send you such and such? And you say yes. And I've now got you. And now I can integrate the chatbot with MailChimp or whatever other platform I use for email delivery. And now I've moved you from chat into email as well. And I have you in both channels. And so in terms of growth of an opportunity, you can start off with a client with the chatbot, but you're integrating with their email systems, maybe with their shopping cart systems, who knows? And that opens up the opportunity for conversations of, hey, would you like me to write those emails for you that we're kind of triggering through the chatbot?
The funnel, so you can basically write the rest of the funnel for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I would also imagine then that you take whatever the results you're finding from the bots and refine, which seems like opportunity for some sort of retainer or return work, to come back. It's not just like a one and done and then you're out.
So in those, like, so I'm a partner in a chatbot agency, and the way we work with companies is that we'll build the chatbot for X number of dollars, but there is always then an administrative fee that runs on monthly. So here's we're going to put, here's X for the job, and then 10% or 15% of X we will pay as a monthly admin fee to make sure nothing breaks, to do any updates that are required when Facebook makes changes at their end, to add any little tweaks that you want, to help you collect data, whatever. We're there for you for this repeating fee that goes on indefinitely.
So Krista has another great question, which I think many will have. When we think of chatbots and what you are talking about specifically, is it the technical side of the building the bot, or are we just the artist and the writing side of writing the script for the bots?
All right. So you can basically, I think if you stepped out into the world just as I'm a chatbot copywriter, it would be a harder sell. But if you can go out and if you nerd out on conversation design, and you say, I'm a chatbot copywriter and conversation designer. In other words, they know that you're a copywriter very specific for this medium. If you do it, I'm a conversation designer and copywriter. Now they get it, because she's quite right. There's a division here. There's the design of the conversation, there's the writing of the script, and then you go to the building. In the same way that if you have like a website, you're going to create a website, you figure out the pages, you write the pages, then you hand over to a developer, maybe a WordPress developer, who builds the site. So with a chatbot, you're going to design the conversation, you're going to write the scripts, and then you're going to hand over to a bot builder. That said, bot building is, I've spoken to some people in various groups who have a little bit of a nerdy side. I'm about 10% nerd, but I know copywriters out there who are more like 20% nerd, and they can probably do the whole thing. They can probably do the conversation design, writing the script, and do the build as well.
And I would say, just like web, it seems like the writer side of it, or the artist side of it, is less well-known, popular, and less flooded, I would imagine, right now.
Right. Yeah. So there are a zillion bot builders out there. So that is getting to the stage where it's kind of like there's almost an oversupply of people who know how to build a bot. What is in undersupply is the creation of really good bots, and the missing part is trained writers and copywriters who understand conversation design within the context of a chatbot. So yeah, it's for me, I get excited because this is like exactly what I stepped into back in 1997, 1998. Is the technical side had been built, the technology was in place. What was missing was the skills of writers and copywriters. And with chatbots, it's the same. So basically, this rules-based chatbot, Facebook opened up its API for its messenger service back in 2016. So we're just 4 years into the industry. So in those 4 years, the technical side has matured.
Yeah.
The technology is there, the expertise is there in terms of developers, but exactly the same with the development of the web. Now what's coming in are the marketers, the copywriters, the conversation designers. So just a huge fresh opportunity. And if I got 2 more minutes, can I?
Yeah, go for it.
What I love about this is that I'll write a chatbot, and I always instill a certain amount of personality into it. Because hey, it's texting, right? It's conversation. So you create a persona, you create a little bit of a character for your bot. And so I build this bot, and it's almost like this thing. So if I write a piece of email, it goes off to the client, it's done. It's like a job done. But my bot, it's like I can go and visit anytime I like. I can actually go and interact with one of my bots. It's like a thing. You're creating. It's like, so that you kind of, I nerd out as this little maker. I'm making these things that kind of live on in these different places. And
it's a child that you forced to speak to you. There's no option about it, right?
I know. That's the do as it's told. No,
so Nick, I think that you have come up with a solution for the problem of there's not enough chatbot copywriters.
Right.
Like we said, after the summit, where there was just an amazing amount of feedback and how do we do this? And I want to do this. Where do I go? And we literally had no answer or nowhere to send everybody. And we came to Nick and said, can you train people to do this? And can you do this for our people? And can we certify them to do this? So Nick, can you give us a little bit of insights into what you have developed with AWAI in order to train chatbot copywriters?
Sure. So it's like, so we have the full certification now, the program, and it's been a labor of love, and it's also been like a huge body of work to put together, because it's so different. It's like, there's the writing side, but what I find really exciting is the learning curve. Like for others, I'm never happier than I am when I'm learning new stuff. And with chatbots, what I've tried to do with the program is to really get people to totally immerse themselves and understand everything about this whole space of chatbots and conversation design. I know when I say conversation design, it sounds weird. Like, do you want me to be a designer? And it's not like that. It's like, in the world of web, we have user experience design. Like our mutual friend, Heather Robson, is an user experience copywriter. All right. So I'm talking about the equivalent. So if you think of a user experience copywriter for the web, a conversation designer conversation design copywriter is the equivalent for. So you're not just writing the words. First of all, you're understanding all of the context, but I'm also introducing as part of this people into some of the tools and services, which will be completely new to everyone because they're very specific to chatbots. Like how do you build a project? How do you build it? How do you build this sort of all these different pathways and flows and the rules and all this kind of stuff? How do you do that? And I'm gonna introduce everyone to the tools where you can build prototypes. I'll show people the tools where you actually publish to the platform, that you connect with Facebook pages. So there's a little bit of nerdy stuff, but nothing really technical, nothing terribly technical. But yeah, it's just a lot of new stuff. So basically, it's going to be an introduction to the whole thing. It's going to be an introduction to the tools. It'll be a deep dive into conversational design. It'll be a deep dive into conversational copywriting for chatbots and chatbot copywriting in particular.
Yeah.
So obviously it's focused on the writing, on the script writing, on the design of these conversations and the writing of the scripts. But I build it within the context of the tools and the platforms and the services, because I think as a writer, you really need to understand. You got to have this broad view to truly understand what to write and how to write it. If you don't understand the tools, it kind of limits you, I think.
Yeah. I think as well, Nick, a very important part that you've worked on this is that, so obviously because it's something new, the positioning of the person, right? So when somebody comes out of the certification, how are they going to be successful and how are they going to position themselves? So you have remedy and solution and options for that, correct?
Right. So
just because this is new.
Right. So I go through the different options you have of like, how do you present yourself to the marketplace? And then there's going to be a whole section in one of the later sessions on how to present yourself to prospective clients, how to find who they are, who are those clients? Who is, and honestly, probably your first stop will not be, individual companies, but probably be chatbot agencies, because they get it, they understand it. And they'll be very quick to recognize, wow, if we have this person come in and she's taking care of all the writing, it means that our bot builder, who is doing both the writing not very well and the bot building really well, can focus on what he does best and actually take on twice as many projects, because now we're handing out the writing to a real expert. So I think the first opportunity is with chatbot agencies, and there are already around the world, there are hundreds of thousands of them.
Wow.
There is no lack of chatbot agencies that are full of chatbot builders, but not the writers. So huge opportunity. That's the first and huge opportunity that I'll really focus on. Yeah.
So Krista has another question, which I think is very applicable for a lot of people. Like, so first off, I'm sitting at home. This sounds cool, but I'm completely new to writing. Is this a good option for me and a good pathway for me to choose?
That's an impossible question, Krista. I see you there, but I don't know you. I don't know if this is the best option for you.
Well, is it a good option for somebody that's new to copywriting? Is that an easier question to answer?
I think absolutely. It can be it's a fresh new opportunity for a fresh new writer copywriter. I think certainly some, if you come to it with some, copywriting 101 skill set, if you have some training in copywriting, certainly that will bring value to this.
Yeah.
So yes, now, can you come to this with no background in copywriting? You can, and you can catch up. You can do some side study, but I think certainly it'll be easier on you if you've had some, even introductory copywriting training. I will say one thing is this is like the Wild West, right? A bit. I think if you want to love this, you got to have a bit of that kind of trailblazer feel about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not going to be, you can sit back and someone's going to put work on your lap and everything is going to, it's like, this is an fast evolving industry. It's immature in some senses. So there's huge opportunity. But I do think you have to be a bit of a go-getter. You've seen me. We've talked about this in different forums, and you've said, "My God, Nick, you're so excited." This
is Nick excited, everybody.
This is as excited as I get. No, sure, this is me excited. So of
He's
course it
doing
is.
cartwheels in his mind.
Of course I'm excited. So, but it's like, yeah. So you got to come at this with a certain like you want to just charge in and make this work and make this happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's new. Because it's new. There's lots of, hey, you'll talk to prospective clients, not the agencies, but if you talk to companies and they'll say, what's a chatbot? All right, it's not, like they might have said, why do I need a website back in 1996? And now they might say, what's a chatbot? Or why? So you got to go in there enthusiastically, and you got to sell the whole concept as well as sell yourself. So yeah, I think this is an amazing opportunity. And like I say, you can be fairly inexperienced, but I think a bit of copywriting background helps. You can be super experienced and just looking for something fresh and exciting to get into.
I think the one benefit for this to somebody new is that it's not long. It's like literally the opposite of long form. I hope I'm
Yeah.
right. It's pretty short. The conversations are short, just like you said,
Yeah,
with
it's like
text
texting.
messages back and forth, right?
Yeah. I just measured, I did the word count. I did a fairly big chatbot job. We did a fairly big chatbot job for a client. I think the total word count was like 560 words.
Wow.
Um, but it's not as easy as just sitting down and writing a 560 word blog post, for example.
Yeah.
You don't just sit down in the morning and write the whole thing.
Preserving.
You've got to,
Yeah.
you got to figure, you're getting the brief, you're doing the persona, you're figuring out the outcomes, you figure out, you go, but it's fun. It is so different. It is so fun. And like you say, that short form writing is just it's so fascinating to me, how
Yeah.
persuasive you can be in a text-based conversation, largely because you're allowing the user to make up their mind. You're not trying to
Yeah.
push and bullet. You don't have to use 20 bullet points to persuade them to do something. You just say, hey, well,
I,
which route do you want to take? Oh, okay, here you go. What do you want?
I'm So there's also something that we do with all of our certifications that I'm not sure everyone is aware of, which also helps new writers, because I find that new writers, like, confidence is like the number one issue. Like, how do I
Yeah.
know if I'm good? How do I know if this is right? Like,
Yep.
it's like flying blind. So I think that through this, you're going to get reviewed at the end. You have a final assignment. You have a spec challenge with AWAI as the potential to be hired by us and to make money with us, which everybody always likes.
Yep.
So it's not flying blind. But we do have another question here from Jessica. She's basically asking if this is a good option for somebody with sales background.
So sales and assumptive selling because
Experience in copywriting, but more
yeah.
of the script side. Oh, that
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and it's interesting that you talk about TV. So if you go over to the fancy side of artificial intelligence and you're talking to people like at Amazon or to Google or people like that, where they're recruiting? They're recruiting from Hollywood. They're
Oh,
recruiting
wow.
they're recruiting script writers, which I think is kind of cute, but I would rather hire a copywriter. I think
Yeah.
it's smarter. But I get it.
Yeah.
Because they're realizing that, hey, this is a scripted conversation in the same
Yeah.
way that an author or a playwright or someone like that would write a script like in a movie or in a book. So I get it. There is that difference. So yes, absolutely. I think that'd be a great background that was just described there.
But again, like you said, it's the superpower, right? Because not only as the copywriter, when you exit this, will you be able to write the script like a Hollywood script writer, but again, you got the persuasive sales angle to it, or like mentality with it, so you're
Correct. Oh
just
yeah.
superhuman.
It's like whoever I talk to, and I've talked to a lot of people in this industry about this thing of like, I say, hey, what do you think about copywriting for chatbots? And first of all, I say explain, and then as soon as I explain, that, oh yes, please, please, please,
Right.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just seems like a no-brainer. And I mean, I'm sure it also helps with building reputations with clients, because if a company that I am signed up with is having a conversation with me or having that repartee with me, I'm going to be more bonded and linked to them than somebody that's I'm blindly getting communication from, so that
Yeah.
it seems like a beautiful option for many people.
Oh, and like I say, there's an often a starting point when you want to build your first bot. Walk down the street, speak to the coffee shop, the fitness place, the bookstore, whatever. Like there is so much work you can do just with local retailers. with chatbots. So these are pretty simple chatbots that can be incredibly powerful. So you can build up a portfolio in a kind of low risk way just by dealing with businesses in your local community.
So it's new, it's fun. You get to be a superhero afterwards. I mean, this is just sign me up, Nick. Sounds so fun.
And what do you mean this is Nick excited? Don't I look excited?
Listen, so I mean, everybody has different cadences. If I'm excited, I am like annoying, high pitch. Woo! So this is me excited about chatbots, and this is Nick excited about chatbots. Well, I just wanted to let anyone know if they're interested in finding out more information or joining you along. We have a pretty little link down here that you just type in awai.com/nanowriting. The marketing is telling me that the promotion expires tomorrow, Nick. So this is the last 24 hours day to do this. I don't know if you have any parting words for anybody that is interested in this or wondering like at the end if this is for me or not.
If you want a bit of it, if you want to marry your career with a bit of adventure, excitement, trailblazing, this is like, seriously, join us. Because like I've been a copywriter for 41 years, and this is the most fun I ever had as a professional writer. I mean, I'm just loving it. So yeah, if you're looking for it, yeah, if you want copywriting, income, adventure, excitement, learning curve, challenge, the whole thing, there you go.
Oh my gosh, just awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Nick, and for everyone for all the questions. It's been so fun. I've loved talking to you, Nick, and I feel the excitement and I feel the fun, and I'm excited. I do. I'm also super excited for what is to come, the results that everybody is going to get from this. So thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.